Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, or hello everyone, welcome to my video. It has been a long time since I made a long form video, and I know that I said that I'm not going to make any more long form videos because I don't want to talk about Islam without knowledge, and I'm sticking to that. This video is not about Islam. It's something I usually don't talk about on this channel, but I think that it's really important to talk about right now. I'm using my front camera today, so I'm sorry if it doesn't look as good. I smashed my back camera. I have no idea how. I broke it. Anyway. Guys, I'm just editing, and I'm sorry that it's gonna be heavily censored this time because I got my first ever warning on my channel, and I am scared, okay? I got a warning for hate speech. I will say I didn't say anything wrong. I used a clip that was containing hate speech, but I was condemning it, but I guess the AI didn't understand context clues, so, you know, there is going to be everything bleeped out for the next 90 days. I ain't trying to get banned. Today we're going to talk about racism. The reason why I have been thinking about this a lot is because recently the whole amazing digital circus controversy thing. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm not here to talk about anyone specific. This is just my experience of seeing what's going on right now. Also, this is the last time I will film without a mic. Me and my dad made a deal that if I get to 150 subscribers, I can get a mic. So it has to come in the mail. I just needed to make this right now. I'm really impatient. I am not talking about a specific person, company, series, or anything like that. It's just what has got me thinking. I am 15, so I'm kind of at that age where you start thinking about society and who you are in this world, you know? I am mixed, and that kind of puts me in a place where I feel culturally ambiguous. I feel like I don't belong to any specific culture. My father is Somali and my mom is white, which is kind of an uncommon mix. I don't see it very often. I have never been viewed as someone like, oh yeah, she's a white person. I have never been given that kind of privilege, you know, but I've never really been viewed as Somali, or when people find out I'm Somali, they don't think I'm enough of a Somali. People have criticized my mother, or that she's white, or criticized to my father, why would you marry a white woman, and stuff like that. You know, I was not seen as black enough for a lot of people. I don't feel connected to any culture or race or ethnicity or anything like that. It's also really funny because when people hear that I'm Canadian, they say, oh, but like, what are you actually? As if someone who's not white can't be Canadian, which is interesting. It just shows how baked in our society race. As someone from Canada, I have grown up my whole life learning about the absolute atrocities that were committed against Asian Canadians and that were committed against the Indigenous people and slavery. I did not learn about that at all in school. I would say Canadian story I learned maybe a week. I'm also homeschooled, so maybe that's it too, but I focused mostly on what happened to the Indigenous people. And as someone who is on the younger side, I think because we haven't experienced the same level of racism that our parents experienced, we don't see how bad using that kind of language or joking about it can be. Because if you look at the span of human history, 200 years is not a lot, okay? 200, even 300, even 500 years is not that much in human history. Like, that is not a big amount of time. And slavery was not that long ago. It really was not. People's great-great-great-grandfathers could have been slaves. Like, it's not that far away from us, but it feels really removed from us, which is a bad thing because we don't feel the same empathy for these people who were suffered, and we are not learning from what happened. Like, when we talk about these atrocities, we're like, yeah, that's so sad, I can't believe people did that. We don't process that these were actual real people that were degraded and humiliated. Even if you look at residential schools, the last one that was closed in Canada was 1996. A majority of the people alive right now were alive in 1996, and it feels like we have gone back so quickly. We had the woke era in 2020. Not that I know too much about it because I was only 9 years old. But yeah, in 2020, we had this whole woke era. Nobody can say nothing. You know, everyone has to be right, politically right. And this was kind of shoved on us. And I feel like we have swung way too far back. We have gone absolutely crazy. The things that are said about people are disgusting. I can't even fathom the things that are being said and done to other human beings. Especially because racism is not that old, but it has destroyed the world. I think racism as a social phenomenon started in the 15th to 16th century, which is not that long ago. Like, if we're looking at the history of the earth, that's not a long time, but so much destruction and scars and trauma have been done in that time. And we like to think racism is something so far removed from us, but it still has scars and is embedded in our society, even to today. And denying that racism is still prevalent is the problem, because human beings take a long time to change. We cannot recover from atrocities like big events that had happened, like slavery, in 200 years. A society cannot be cleansed of racism in that short of a period, and we have pretended that we are, so now we say it's okay to joke about these things. It's okay to joke about okay to joke about racism. It's okay to joke about Islamophobia, homophobia. And it's not. It's not okay to ever do that. Especially with this phenomenon of younger people not seeing racism as a big deal. I have seen some crazy things from white people online, especially with stuff like celebrities or white people saying the N-word and then it coming up. Tell me why so many white people online are saying, no, you need to forgive them. It was so long ago. They were just a 30-year-old baby. They didn't know better than to say the N-word. But it's not just a word, and we both know that, and you're not stupid. Who are you to tell me to stop feeling bad about the thing that you did to me? Of course, I will always advocate for forgiveness. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing, and Allah Azza wa Jal loves forgiveness. But also, it is within your right to be upset about something. It's within your right not to forgive someone who has wronged you. Especially the idea of saying it is just a word is the most ignorant phrase I have ever heard in my life, because you will never know how it feels to be called slur until it's done to you. And if you are white or a male or someone who is not in the LGBTQIA plus community, you will not understand. You will never understand what it feels like. I want to tell you guys the first time I ever heard the N-word. I think I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, and I was reading the book Iggy's House by Judy Blume. It's a really good book, and I never thought about it again. And I didn't really understand how bad of a word it was until it was said to my dad. I was just walking out of the mall with my dad. Like, literally, we were doing nothing wrong. And this truck drove past us and called my dad the N-word. I think that's when I really understood how disgusting that is to call someone. I also remember another story. We were in the dollar store, and I was really little at the time, I think grade 2. And I remember this lady came up to me and said, "Hey kid, get away from your mom. Get away as far as you can from her." And I don't remember what else she said, but she was clearly saying that because my mom was wearing a niqab. But it's like, even 6 years later, I still remember these things, you know? They really did affect me, and it was unprompted, and I was just existing. I live in Canada, and violence is not very common, but I remember being little, maybe grade 2, and my mother telling me what to do if a mosque got shot, because it happened. I'm pretty sure it happened around where I lived at the time, and to me it was like a really realistic thing, that people really do hate me because of my religion or my ethnicity. And these experiences have shaped how I viewed myself. I remember being little and having mostly white friends, and I wish that I was white. I wish that I was beautiful like them. I thought they were beautiful. I thought they were the pinnacle of beauty. I felt embarrassed that I wasn't white. This is not something that happened in the 90s or early 2000s. You know, I am not that old. And I grew up in the West, in a multicultural country, and I still have faced these kind of prejudices. People definitely look at me weird for covering my face at this age, which, if you're curious on why, you can go check out that video. Shameless plug. But people have definitely judged me for wearing the niqab, or I think a lot of people definitely think I'm Arab. And it's interesting to get for the race that you're not even a part of, which happens a lot, I think, for mixed people. But my point is that this is not something removed from us. This is something that many people of color have faced, no matter what color you are, especially because race really isn't a thing. Race is really a social construct, I'm not gonna lie. Ethnicity, of course, is a thing, but even within the same household, people are not the same colors. Or my sister, who is biologically related to me, who's lighter or darker than me, would be treated differently by the medical system, by the educational system, than me. And saying it's just a word really takes away the power that language has over us. I remember listening to a TED Talk that talked about how the language you're born into affects how you perceive the world. If you were born in a language that uses the masculine version for a bridge, you might describe a bridge as durable, strong, sturdy, reliable. But if you grew up in a language that uses the feminine version for a bridge, you might describe it as beautiful, artistic, architectural. So from the moment you're born, the language that you're born into affects how you perceive the world. So language affects our psychology. The way that we talk about people really affects how we view them. Nobody wakes up one day and thinks, yes, this person is less than me. The way this comes is from repetition, that one group is less than another. And this is formed from our language. This is how people commit atrocities. If you look at the of Rwanda, an absolute tragedy that happened, if you look at the end of it, you might be like, how could farmers and neighbors they grew up to their whole lives? And it's like, it started with the language. It started with calling one person less. It started by viewing one person as less human than you. And you might say you're joking, but eventually it doesn't become a joke, and it affects the way you think about a person. This is 101 of propaganda. If you think of a brown man screaming Allahu Akbar. If you think of someone who's poor, you think of someone with darker skin. Why is that? It's because of the way that we talk about these people. And living in Canada, there has been an influx of Indian immigrants, and the way that people I see talking about Indian people is disgusting. This is a tale as old as time. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer. When will we learn that's what they're doing? And it's like, they're clearly trying to distract us. Why do you think after the woke movement, all these things have become so prevalent? And Islamophobia and homophobia have become absolutely rampant. It's because they need to divide us. We're too busy fighting about a prayer in Times Square than to actually fight the people who literally... Why do you think people are blaming Indian people for the housing crisis, for the job market, for the affordability crisis? Why are we fighting the Indians? Same thing with America. The racism in America has been dialed up tenfold. Why do you think Somali daycare suddenly became a thing? Divide and conquer. Wake up, people! While they're laughing, we destroy ourselves. Allah Azza wa Jal tells us we should never call our brothers offensive nicknames. We should never degrade another human being. Even if you don't agree with their ideology, I would never in my life say the F slur or say the T slur to anyone. I don't agree with them, but I am never going to be mean to them or oppressive to them. Allah Azza wa Jal gives so much power to our tongue. How do you become Muslim? It's through the Shahada. So one sentence can be your salvation, and words can be your destruction. You don't have to be actually bowing to an idol to commit shirk. You can commit shirk with your words. The greatest sin can be done with your words. And to me, even as people of color, I don't think you should be saying the N-word at all. I don't think so, because there are so many amazing historical figures in Islam who were black people. And would you casually call them the N-word for fun? Like, oh, we're buddies. Hey, N-word. No, you would not. So have the same respect for other people. I think it's more of a respect thing to me. I don't think you should ever speak badly or use oppressive language or language that has historical trauma towards anyone. As Muslims, you should be scared. You should be scared of what your words can do. You should be scared that you hurt people's feelings. I am so scared to hurt someone's feelings. You know why? Because what if that person is more beloved to Allah than you? What if that person is more beloved to Allah than you, and that person that night they cry in their salah about you to Allah? Subhanallah. How scary is that? Imagine you call someone a bad word, you degrade someone, and that person is so dear to Allah Azza wa Jal. You know how people wouldn't hurt someone their loved one loves? This is him mentality. You wouldn't hurt your mom's sister because your mom loves her sister. So how could you hurt Allah's servant? And this doesn't even just go for Muslims, because we don't know who Allah will guide. We don't know who will be going to paradise. Potentially someone could be so far off the path, but Allah loves them and Allah guides them. And then I am the one who hurt that person. And I am the one who has to go in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. And I have to testify that I did that to someone Allah loves. I love Allah Azza wa Jal so much. I can't imagine hurting someone that He loves. May Allah protect me from that. And you should be scared of that too. You should be scared of hurting someone Allah loves. You should be scared of hurting someone because you don't know how dear they are to Allah. Even if you hate this person, even if you have no love for this person, you have no reason to be good to them, be scared of even hurting their feelings for a second. Imagine they cry to Allah Azza wa Jal about you. You know how you cry your heart out to Allah about your situations? Imagine you are the one they're crying about. You make someone cry so much that they turn to Allah Azza wa Jal. Subhanallah, what a scary thought. May Allah protect us all from that. And my closing statement is, I think that as Muslims and as human beings, we need to be considerate of people. We need to be considerate of what we say, and we need to not let them divide us. We need to get over the whole race thing. We need to get over the gender thing, and we need to realize we are all brothers and sisters. No matter your skin color, ethnicity, age, or gender, you are my brother and you are my sister, and I love you for the sake of Allah. We are all made from mud. You are made from mud, I am made from mud. And we're arguing about what color that mud is. Subhanallah, human beings are the most arrogant of creatures. We're so stupid. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, we're so silly. We're such silly beliefs for no reason. Like, bro, stop fighting, and everyone should just be friends. That's my closing statement. I don't know if that made sense. I tried. I'm so sorry about the audio. I swear, this is my last video without a mic, okay? I will get a mic, and it will be all cherries and rainbows, and maybe I will be able to get my camera fixed. We will see. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I literally just said thank you for 100 subscribers, and then now I have 200. Subhanallah. Everything is from Allah, nothing is from me. Any mistakes I made during this video is from me and the shaitan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, or bye-bye.